Okay, so, end of date night. I gotta get my girlfriend home, but we are psyched to talk about this movie. Like, I haven't been inspired to do it in the car in a while. Probably should have done one for Godzilla, though, shouldn't I?
Yes, we really should have covered that, seeing as I have claimed you are Mothra and I am Godzilla.
But tonight we saw The Perfection, which is a gory, violent thriller
with a bit of cult.
With a bit of... Okay, now, full spoilers here, because there's just no way to talk about what's going on in this movie.
I don't know, I think can we be vague?
I don't think you can really be vague, because, like, the entire last act just doesn't make any sense unless you explain shit. But, okay, so... it opens with Charlotte, who's played by the girlfriend from Get Out, and she's her mom has just died. Like,
and
what's that?
Did I not close my door? No.
It stopped. All right.
Mystery.
What were you saying?
Oh, it's just further along, when Charlotte after the mom thing.
Yeah.
Just.
So, her mom died, and before her mom got sick and needed constant care, she was at a, whoa, lightning, hello. She was at a music conservatory being trained to do cello at, a world-class level or whatever. So, now that her mom's dead, she's tracked down her old teacher. And
years later.
It's like a decade later. Yeah, it's hot in here.
Yeah, and let's see what else.
And Lizzie, their new
The instant I saw Charlotte and Lizzie together, I'm like, Charlotte is a serial killer. I have this vibe about her that she's going to hurt or kill someone.
Which isn't helped by the fact the only thing she's really known for is being the duplicitous girlfriend from Get Out.
Although I didn't see that movie, but still,
that's another one we gotta see.
It's just her facial expressions the entire time. Who smiles like that?
Well, I guess she's well cast then. Hello, son. Okay, so her teacher's current big star is Lizzie, who's played by the actress from Dear White People.
Now, can I just butt in for 1 minute? Can I mention that, every one of the star girls or, whatever, has, a music note tattooed onto them?
Yeah, on their shoulder.
Yeah.
That's important later. So, she catches up with her former teacher, and she meets Lizzie, and Lizzie is flirting with her hardcore. Just not a single regret about, going for her previous inspiration, as it were. Just trying to get my face in there.
Oh, yeah, because, the lighting was
really bad.
Well,
thank you for being a good camera woman.
Thank you.
You're welcome. After a performance, they fuck, which was really hot.
And I used the word lesbianage.
Okay.
Because there's sabotage involved later. I knew it.
Oh, I get it now. I wasn't sure what words you were combining there.
Lesbian and sabotage.
So, they go on a little vacation in China. And on the bus ride, Lizzie starts getting really sick, really sick to her stomach, and then she pukes, and she pukes up maggots on the bus window. She is really in bad shape. And Charlotte's being really supportive.
Even though it's maggots in her vomit.
Yeah, it's really bad. And so they get kicked off the bus because they're making a big fuss, and the bus driver's just he's sick of it. Also, potentially infectious. I don't necessarily blame that bus driver.
I don't either.
So they're just kind of walking, and then bugs start crawling out of Lizzie's hand. And then, this is twist number 1. This is, spoiler territory at this point. Charlotte pulls out a fucking meat cleaver out of fucking nowhere and is like, you know what you have to do.
Yeah,
and
still, even I, who, when they went backwards and explained all of this,
yeah.
Still the meat cleaver coming out of the side of her jacket,
what?
How were you able to move and not just like puncture something there? Like, where was it hiding? Did you have
Lizzie
room?
hacks her own hand off, and then the movie does this neat thing where it reverses in time, and we see that Charlotte's been planning this. She gave Lizzie some of her mom's old medicine
That causes
with
nausea.
hallucinations and will be exacerbated by alcohol.
Which she gives her like 2 bottles of what I think is like I can't think of the rum right now, but there is a rum that I know very well.
Captain
That's in
Morgan's?
a white. No, it's in a white bottle. Oh, Malibu rum. Thank you, brain.
So, Lizzie finally makes it back home to Boston at the conservatory and is like, fucking hand, I can't do music no more. And then the movie kind of takes a turn where the guy running the conservatory, who is a little scummy.
Let's not get too far though, because we haven't gotten to like Lizzie going to Charlotte's house. So let's just.
He's a little slimy, but then he just kicks her out of the conservatory. He's like,
because he's like, we're only housing students.
if you can't do music, you got to get out. And so then Lizzie, the camera does this funny thing where it turns 360 degrees while focusing on Lizzie's face.
Like this. Woo!
Yes, exactly like that. Which, is like...
But better, because, it's more stable than my hand.
So, Lizzie tracks down Charlotte in Minnesota, because that's where she lives, and she knows this. Which was actually set up by the movie. It wasn't just like a out-of-nowhere thing that she knows how to find her. Hits her with a stun gun, and then, kicks the shit out of her. And then we cut to Lizzie, has apparently driven her all the way from Minnesota to Boston in the trunk of her car to offer as a sacrifice to the conservatory guy.
Ooh.
Who, it turns out, sexually abuses all of his best students.
The ones that he tattoos with a music note.
Yeah. So Lizzie, Charlotte basically tricked Lizzie into cutting off her own hand as a way of exposing him to Lizzie as a complete scumbag, because Lizzie was completely brainwashed. And Charlotte knows this because Charlotte was completely brainwashed at one point, and
until her mother's death.
It took her a lot of therapy, and by therapy I mean shock treatment.
Shock therapy!
Shock treatment! Ooh, you're jumping like a real live wire. You need a bit of shock treatment.
You see, it's been a while for me by how I went shock therapy, but I knew the tune.
But, okay, so then the entire last act of the movie is the revelation that this, conservatory guy is running a fucking, child predator cult out of his conservatory, preying on young girls. And, they're obsessed with playing this one song perfectly in this place with perfect acoustics.
Yeah, but let's get back to the part where, I don't know. She reveals this to the guy, I know what you've been doing, and then somehow,
she's tied up and dragged into the basement, and...
Yeah, and then, Liz, pours the old men some drinks, and...
Turns out it's poisoned.
Charlotte has to play a piece, which she plays wrong on purpose, as a whole fuck you to the guy, and... unbeknownst to the guy, drinks are poison. Now,
Lizzie...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she didn't poison his drink.
No, because then, okay, so Lizzie and Charlotte have teamed... Oh, I turned too early. Fuck! They've teamed up to kill this motherfucker. And they go to town on him with a cleaver and a knife.
But not before, flashing back once more, where,
doing the rewind thing.
Yeah, where Liz is missing her arm, and she's like, something about the side of the road. You said something at the side of the road. You were right. And there's this whole speech from Charlotte about how, that creepy guy we're mentioning, who didn't give a fuck about Liz,
won't give a fuck about you.
Yeah, she said, he will not give a fuck about you.
She's basically trying to...
He doesn't love me or you.
She's trying to unprogram a cult member the hard way, which, granted, gets immediate results. But it cost her a hand.
Well, in the end, it cost Charlotte a hand.
Yeah, the final scene is just a big stab 'em up, and it's brutal and gory, and like
the ending is even worse. Though,
yeah,
because
oh god, no, I don't want to spoil what they do to the guy, but it's fucking brutal.
But at the end, they do both sit in, like, I can't remember if it's one chair or... Maybe
Yeah, I think it was just one chair.
One chair.
They play the cello together because they're each missing one hand, so they work together to do it, which is, like, symbolism, but it's like...
I still can't see you. It's because of the light. Thank you.
Symbolism, but oh my god, that movie was so much fun. It was so fucking cathartic to watch them stab the shit out of that guy.
I know, I was like, you get them, girls.
And like, we assume they're together now, having
Obviously.
one-armed lesbian sex as much as they can.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, so hot. Not as good.
If they just put like a condom over their arm, they could totally fist
Well, it
each
looked
other.
like Charlotte was missing most of her left arm.
Oh
Like,
yeah, that's
Liz
true.
just was missing a
But
hand.
yeah, Liz could do that for Charlotte. Could just put like.
Okay, so yeah, go watch. I mean, it's brutal and it's gross. I don't want to say it's exploitation film, but it's a tasteless thriller. But it was so much fucking fun.
Yeah.
All right, good night, everyone.
Night.